No,
I didn't ask, no, that's that new stuff's all electronic.
I thought you were
Yeah.
issues with this thing, I don't like transmission.
We can start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We don't have to authorize any associate members, because we're all members. First item we're going to take up is the adoption of the minutes. I'll take a motion, entertain a motion, to accept or refuse, or talk about it.
I'll make a motion, to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Revision? All in favor? Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Looks like a vote. No public hearing, we've got old business. Now this is where we go into the site plan review. Application, F. Pittsfield SPV LLC, solar project located on tax map 12, 4650 and we have a presentation we can look at.
Yes, we do.
Start the process.
My name's Bob Patton, I'm with Hemp Energy.
Yeah.
We're got an office down in Portland, Maine, got a lot of successful projects going in here for the state of Maine. Real proud to be bringing this one through. I think you're going to like this project. In conjunction with our development, we've also teamed with Long Road Energy. There's no other name-based, primarily name-based company. Good roots here, long history. And for that, I'll turn it over to their lead developer.
Great. Thank you very much for having us tonight. My name is Chad Allen. I'm with Long Road Energy. We're excited to be here tonight alongside Mr. Patton and Mr. Barnes from Stantec, who's assisting us with our application tonight. So perhaps I'll start just real briefly with my company, Long Road Energy. So we've been working here as a team in Maine since the early 2000s. Started as a company you may have heard of called First Wind. Built a fair number of projects, so approximately 700 megawatts of renewables in the state to date. We are now focused largely on solar projects, and with the passage of legislation in 2019 called Net Energy Billing, which allowed for solar projects under 5 megawatts to participate in that program. Certainly we saw an opportunity here to develop some projects across the state that would help Maine businesses to lower their rates and become more competitive. So we're excited to bring you this project tonight. We have a number of others across the state. We have 4 projects of similar size under construction right now, and we hope that this will be the 5th one. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the project, about our company that you may have. In terms of the project details and the application that's before you tonight, I would like to turn it over to Brooke Barnes from Stantec.
Good evening, and my head on a swivel here to catch everybody. Thanks for having us, really appreciate it. I was going to sort of point to the boards and talk you through the project. I may still do that since you have the plans in front of you, and maybe you can follow along with me. We've been working, we're down in Topsom, Stantec, and we've been working with Long Road and PEP for probably 6 months or so to bring this project to the point where we could apply here to the town and also to the DEP. This is a project that'll need a site location permit, and so we'll be doing our DEP application as well. And also a Natural Resources Protection Act permit, because there's some wetland impacts associated with the project. So I'll physically describe it, what the components are, and like I say, if you've got your plans. And actually, I'm going to hand out something that's maybe useful. I'm a visual guy, and I always like aerials as a way to locate me on the face of the earth, so I know where the heck I am and how to see things.
Thank you.
So this will help you follow along as well. So the project is on a large parcel that's down here. I heard someone talk about the railroad tracks, and that's where it's at. It's going to be coming in. If you turn this right side up, I think it'll work a little bit better. It's going to be coming up. Here's Route 101. 100, sorry, 111, right across the north side of the project, and you can see it on here as well. The construction access is going to be across Chandler Street and down through an undeveloped road and then into the parcel, which is kind of on the interior. You know, it's not fronting on any street other than the way that's getting in there through Chandler and through this right-of-way that exists here up to Route 100. So this will be the construction access to get in. This will be an underground electric line that will come from the project, bring the electrons up the road, buried all the way up until you get just before Route 100. And then CFD requires it to go above ground, and there'll be 5 poles there. There will be the interconnect with central main power. And they have reclosers and connectors, and everybody has their own pole up there. And there'll be a stub road that comes in there because CMP wants to have access to those poles. As I said, that's an existing right-of-way for this development, which I understand Mr. Gray is doing some work out there now to clear the lots and develop that. So once you come in on the project and get in there, it'll be 7 to 8 months construction schedule.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 months construction schedule. You get down to the project itself, and these are fixed tilt, which means that they just go in the ground and they stay that way. The other kind of solar panels are trackers that move with the sun, and these are all going to be fixed tilt. There's sort of 3 pieces of them here in the southern area. So you come down the access road, there'll be a couple of laydown areas that will just be there during construction. And then you'll come to sort of different pods of this with gates to get into them. These 2 are connected, and then there's a separate one, so there'll be a gate between them, and there'll be some you'll be able to access between those. The clearing limits are shown on the plans in the dark scallop lines. That's where the limits of clearing will be once the project's constructed. Light gray lines are sort of where the tree line is now. And you can see down, it'll go down, right down by the railroad to the limits of the property there. And the access road will go down, have a branch over to the east, and then go all the way down to the south. There'll be hammerheads on the end of that so that emergency access can get in and turn around. There'll be Knox boxes on the gates, so there's access for emergency folks. Inverters, so what will happen is the energy is generated across the panels and then collected at an inverter. There's one here, and then there's another one here, and then it goes underground from there and runs up the road and all the way up to Route 100, where it'll join into the central main power system there. There's no substation. Be a fence all the way around it, 7-foot fence. What am I missing, Chad?
I think that you covered it well, bro.
There was,
It's hard with the 2 plans, so, right, so, and I think with your little sketch, it shows that it's out behind Layton Street subdivision.
Yep.
Right, and so then you have to go through, Gray Realty's development that they're building now. You gotta cross the CMP corridor and then get south of that, and it'll be between the CMP corridor and the railroad. Right, this project.
yeah, so the aerial gives you a good understanding of it.
So we had to adhere to a couple of old paper streets that are still in existence. So Dixmont Street, which was a subdivision from 1906. So it had not been relinquished the right for that, so we respected that, and we respected the paper street of Parkway Avenue as well. So No structures exist in either of those two paper streets.
So Parkway is this CMP corridor here, and Parkway is this paper street that runs through here, and then Dixmont is this paper street that runs through here. And like I said, there's gates on either side of this, so that there's no obstruction across this. This paper street, Dixmont, is still open for public travel. And for access, was there another thought to access, or this is the way you're coming into the chamber?
Yeah, so I think, perhaps we can just talk real briefly about that. Recognizing part of our, the easement rights that were conveyed as part of the sale to Gray Realty allows for access and utility easements through the paper streets within that parcel. But recognizing that there is the Layton Street subdivision and a lot of kids in there, our goal was to try to keep construction traffic, which really is the bulk of the traffic for this project. Right, during normal operations, there won't be anybody there other than temporary, maintenance access a couple times a year. So we wanted to keep as much traffic as we possibly could out of Layton. And so we chose to utilize two of those paper streets, one just for utility and one for access. And that access would enter through Chandler Street and then traverse down through the subdivision. We are currently working with Gray. We recognize that housing is important. We recognize that his project is ongoing. And so we're working with him to see if there may be another access through his subdivision that would better support his schedule and our schedule and allow us each to work together.
But this is the plan for now.
But this is the plan for now.
Yeah, and Chad talked about traffic, 40 to 60 at the peak. There may be as many as 40 or 60 travel trips a day. There'll be product delivery, delivering the panels, delivering the posts, and then it's electricians. If you know any electricians, there's a lot of work out there right now and putting these solar projects together. But it'll be that kind of traffic, and as Chad said, once it's operational, it gets a few visits a year. It gets mowed twice a year, and that's because of DEP stormwater requirements. It's only twice. And then it's monitored in Portland, where Long Road Energy's regional operations center is for the entire country. Happens to be in our fair city. And they can pick up faults, they can pick up problems with the panels, and get someone up here to do a repair. But for the most part, it sits there and makes electrons. It's pretty static. Doesn't demand anything from city services or anything. It just sits there and does its thing. Questions? What do you got? Any question? Anybody?
Is any of this in the shoreline zone?
No.
So,
Nope. We checked that early on to make sure there was no shoreline zoning on the parcel. We actually checked in with the former CEO who evaluated the map and made sure that there wasn't any shoreline zoning here.
you still going to need a DEP permit, site location permit?
Yes, it's more than 20 acres, so therefore it'll need a DEP site location permit. And part of that DEP process, they have a pretty stringent decommissioning requirement. So there'll have to be a bond put up to decommission the entire project. I've got a decommissioning calculation I can hand around to people just so you can see it. I don't think the town has a decommissioning requirement, but this is something that there's been statutes passed just in the last legislative session, but DEP is required for some time to make sure that at the end of the useful life of the project, it doesn't just get left there, and that somebody's going to have the money and be responsible for taking it down. The way it works is there's a bond that or a letter of credit that would go with the project for its 25-year or so life, and would be refreshed every 15 years. Or the first 15 years it would be refreshed, and to bring it up to current dollars and cents. This is based on today's dollars and cents. So year 15, project's getting older, you might be getting close to decommissioning it, re-up the costs, and then every 5 years after that, you do a review of the costs and re-up it. And that's all part of the DEP decommissioning process and plan that you have to do as part of the site law.
You don't have that permit yet?
No, we wanted to come and talk to you folks first, and then we'll be submitting the application to the DEP probably in the next week or so.
So that'll probably be a condition.
Yes, yep, that's the way a lot of towns have done it, is make it a condition of their approval that the DEP's approval of the decommissioning plan or the site law be part of the record before you start.
I got one question. On the decommissioning, it says for below ground structures down to 24 inches.
Yes.
Why is it nobody wants to pull it all out?
Well, I'll let, I don't know if you're, it's cost mostly.
Well, but I would think, you know, you have to dig down 24 inches to cut off the pipes. With a big enough excavator, you'd be already just grab them and yank them.
Yeah, well, and the cable, probably they will, because there's a value to the cable. Whether they dig up all the conduit and things like that, if it's more than 24 inches, it would stay.
But I think you're probably thinking about the steel structures, right, the posts?
Well,
Yeah, the posts are gonna
You
come out.
certainly, right, yeah.
Right, but it's one of those things that, you know, if you're going through half the work, or
Right.
most of the work, you might as well finish the project and be done.
Yeah.
The way I look at it.
But I think that most of the decommissioning, they'll sort of, dig up the end and then pull the wire.
Yeah.
As I said, there's some wetland impacts. You'll see those in the brown that are on the plans that you have in front of you. Those are areas underneath the panels where they'll be just graded over. The wetlands will be graded over so that the panels can go in there. On this one, there's not a lot of wetland impact. Sometimes there's a lot of clearing that goes on outside these projects because you don't want the shade to diminish the amount of electricity you're going to generate. But this one did a really good job of sort of hugging the wetlands. The wetlands are in blue on the plans there. So there's not a lot of clearing in the wetlands around the project.
The reason for this project, because of close proximity to the substation.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there's a strong three-phase backbone running down Route 100 and with support of the project. So the project does have a signed interconnection agreement with Central Maine Power and is fully compliant and ready to operate from there.
When do you think construction, if things go favorably, when will construction start?
Following mud season of next year.
Which, depending on the year, sometimes it's all year.
Yeah, and actually, for sure. No, I think with the DEP application right now, because of the volume, their time frame for reviewing these applications has gone up. So that will be the critical path is getting that approved.
And especially this land here is heavy soil to begin with, so it's not a construction area.
Yep. Yeah, we've got the soils in your application.
You need a year, like 2 summers ago.
Yeah, dry.
Right.
So did you say that you already have compliance with CMP in the sense of getting on the grid?
Yes, so that entire process with the utility is complete. So it's been through 2. So it has its interconnection agreement with Central Maine Power, and it has its approval from ISO New England to interconnect and operate.
I have a question about the decommissioning. When it's decommissioned and you haul everything off, where do you haul it to? Is it hazardous waste at that point, or how does that work?
It's not hazardous waste, it's inert. These panels are bonded together, so even if they break, nothing's going to leach out of them. And it's a good question, because in 25 years, I'll bet you anything, there's going to be a really lucrative recycling market. There's a little bit of a recycling market now, but in 25 years, someone's going to figure out what to do with these things and turn them into cash.
I'm thinking of our grandchildren,
Yeah.
out there going
They should get in the recycling
make that
business.
useful.
Yeah.
But short of that, all the other components, right?
Yeah.
It's steel, it's copper, it's aluminum.
Yeah.
That's obviously, right, to defray some of the cost of decommissioning would be recycled in a traditional sense.
And even in 25 years, these panels still produce electricity, right? They're just not optimized at, 80, 90%. They've lost some of their ability. So it could be that they're resold.
Who knows by then, right?
You're right. It's hard to prognosticate 25 years out.
So right now you're saying that these panels that you'll be putting in, their life expectancy is 25 years.
The production curve for them, right? So They obviously degrade a little bit over time, and the manufacturer will guarantee that production curve.
The production curve, okay, so the curve in the sense of the peak.
The amount of degradation over time.
Falling down
Yeah.
after the 25 years.
I'd have to confirm if it's 20 or 25 in this particular.
Okay.
But yes, that's a guaranteed curve.
The projects that you've completed, you continue to own and run those projects? Or do you sell projects?
So the projects that are under construction right now, to be clear, they're not operational yet. They're being built as we speak, but the intention is to own and operate those projects.
And those are in Monmouth and Augusta, and Baldwin, and Harmony.
You got one in Harmony?
We do?
Yeah. Can't see it. It's up. It's kind of out back behind.
Yeah, so directly across from the fire station. So the Bessie land that goes up on.
On Chapman Road?
Um,
You mean the fire station up on Route 150?
yeah, directly across from it.
Oh, to the
north
to
side
the
of
east, to the east.
I call
Well,
it-
as you head out of town going north, you start to pick up speed. The fire station on your left.
Yeah.
So come back about 100 feet, and you'll see a road on the right goes in, and that's where it's being built.
Yeah. I used to cut that wood when I was a young lad. Thank you for that.
The trip down memory lane.
What's your waiting time on panels now?
So fortunately for our company, we purchased a large volume of panels back in 2019. So we have a warehouse in Tennessee that has sufficient number of modules that we will supply this project. And whether we use some of them, all of them, hard to say.
I just curious, I know a lot of projects have been pushed back because of availability.
They have. So, we made a commitment as a company to utilize First Solar, so it's the only domestic manufacturer here in the States that's left with making modules. And that's who we have for safe harbor modules.
Are any of the panels going to be visible from any of the nearby residences? Or are they all going to be, is it just going to be the natural buffer of the existing trees?
Yes. Yep. And if you take a look at this map I handed around, and you look at where those panels are in relationship to the nearest residences, they're in the woods. And they're not up on a ridge or anything like that. They're really tucked back where you won't be seeing them.
Going, follow that one in the sense of, like, say, the grade differential from where we are down at the railroad tracks up to where we come in on Chandler Street there. I mean, how much differential on elevation is that? Rough idea, 30 feet, 20 feet?
I think our application said 225 to 250.
Right, but I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
where
like
those are.
25 feet, depending on how it kind of,
Yeah, it's not a lot.
general term.
Not a lot. And I think you may have, the ones I have don't have topographic lines on them, but you may in your full-size set have the grading plans for
I
topographic
just kind
lines.
of general.
I do right here. So the railroad tracks are roughly 218. Where the project, so the northern, I guess it would be the northern terminus of the project is at 238. The Central Main Power crossing is at 258.
Oh, okay, so so
You're climbing up.
25 feet there then.
Yep, you're climbing up. But the panels themselves, from the railroad to there, when you hit the gate, that was 20 feet, I think, 218 to 238. And the panels are about 10 feet tall off the ground. The nice thing about these fixed tilt panels is they can kind of go with the land. You don't have to flatten it out like a tabletop. And you can kind of put them in so they roll a little bit. And there's no blasting anticipated. Again, minimal grading. Good site.
I have a question on the decommissioning. You said that's a state requirement?
Yes.
Okay, so, and money is held an escrow or whatever?
Usually in a bond.
In a bond?
Yeah, you have to
Okay,
be a
so
bond
that-
company to sure.
So that number right there?
Yep, yep, that's the first 15 years, then they reevaluate it at
Okay.
15 years and
Who holds the bond? The state holds the
we
bond?
the state holds on.
State holds the bond.
Yep.
And those bonds must be posted prior to the start of the
Right.
And make sure you don't start moving dirt without that.
Any more questions, otherwise we'll start the review?
I guess this other thing, I mean, is there anything, does anybody have any thoughts in the sense of that existing road and holding, having money or discussion about money for repairs to that during construction?
Is that a town road, Chandler Road?
I don't think so.
I don't think it
Chandler
is.
Road
Oh,
is
I
never
don't
in the
think it is.
subdivision.
No, I don't think.
Oh, you think that's a private road?
I don't, yeah, that's a good question, Mike, I was wondering about that. I don't think it was a town road.
I don't know the answer to that. If you know.
I don't believe it's, it has been accepted by the county.
Well, I was just putting that out to the board, if that was something that...
Because access, the only road would be the state road, 100, right?
Yep.
And
That's
what's
for the power.
Right, but construction vehicles coming in and out, that, I assume that's the...
From 100 to Layton, is it Layton?
Right.
Yep.
Well, I think what Mark was getting at is what are town roads and what might be
Layton Street, yeah.
compromised during construction. I don't know if any of those roads coming in towards the hospital, I mean, that's the road that goes to the hospital. or-
Yeah, right behind it.
Right behind it. I don't know if any of those are town roads.
Layton, I'm not,
I don't know.
I think it is, but I'm not sure.
Well, even if they're private roads, wouldn't they still have to be restricted?
Well, that, yeah, but I think they
Yeah.
go into a deal with the owner. If it's private,
Yeah.
yeah, it's up between those two. But if it's public, town road, it's something ought to be
Right.
looked at. Well, I'm sure you guys probably videotape everything.
We typically do it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's because you don't want to get to the end of it and somebody goes, that culvert's crushed. It's like,
Yeah.
it's been crushed for 30 years.
Well, we can begin the process. Start in section 7. Before I get, this is a conditional use for this zone because of when our ordinances were being written, we didn't have it covered solar panels. But we've done this before in other solar projects, offered a conditional use so that solar projects can go in place. And as long as everybody's in agreement with that, we can proceed. It's not a waiver, it's just, we allow the use of solar panels on places, not specifically zoned for solar. Which is why we're here, we got too much here. Application, receipt for the application is included in the packet. Just back it up there. That applies to me, I gotta sign a thing like that. I'm not gonna worry about a public meeting or a site inspection until we get over the whole thing. Then we can go back to that one.
So Roy, should we vote on that, on the public hearing?
If, the trouble with doing it before the review, is that you really don't know what you're talking about. Until you get there, So after we do the review, we can decide whether or not it requires a hearing or a site review. The application fee has been paid, technical review fee. For reasonable costs incurred by the planning board if there's a problem down the road. Do we think a technical review fee should be required, and if so, how much? Well, first, do we think a technical review fee is needed? Any comments?
I don't think so. No.
Technical review fee is not needed. Submission requirements, no waivers, signed applications, technical review, there's a $400 fee paid, which has to be paid anyway.
We've got copies of the drawings and maps, we've got general information. Catherine said that it doesn't say anywhere that all the property owners within 250 feet have been notified, but Catherine told me tonight that she can attest that they have been notified. All the sketch maps, A1B, that's in the packet. The boundaries are in the packet, tax maps are in the packet. All the registration numbers, names, seals of people who prepared the plans are in the packet. It says on this, well, it says on paper, on review paper, it says we may require financial statements as evidence of their financial capability. Does anybody want to consider that one? Or is,
Do you currently own the property, or is that all depending what happens here?
So currently, Hep Energy owns the property.
yeah, I think all that stuff is in
And
this.
so and that was kind of explained the process. So Long Road Energy is in the process of purchasing the project from Hep Energy. But Hep is in ownership of it.
And I'll just say on page 12 and 13 of the application, it has the technical capacity of Long Road, who they are, and what they do, and the projects they've done. And then the second part is their financial capacity, pointing out they've raised more than $6.8 billion in third-party capital.
Yeah.
My note on that was just, I mean, there's a narrative that they've got the capacity, but I don't know if the board feels it actually needs evidence.
Well, I don't know, it wasn't really a question, it was just put to the board to discuss it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's got an objection, we'll just gloss over that one. Existing conditions, zoning classifications, it's granting conditional use for it. Property lines, that's all in the binder we have. Sewer mains and water mains are not applicable. Location names and presence of public and private streets, that's on the map. Are any kind of, when they deliver the panels, are they gonna be like tractor trailers going through that? Because it looks like some awful hard turns we've gotta go around.
And Sewell Company, up here, designed that, and they looked at those turn radii for the size of the tractors that are coming in to make sure they were going to make those corners. But you're right, there's some tight ones there.
Yeah, they look awful small right here.
From what I can tell, Leighton Street is a town road, other than my think so.
In the street, I'm sure it is.
I think Layton is town, and then the ones off of that aren't. They weren't accepted yet or something.
So Layton Street goes in and then around to that development. Is that right?
I'm not sure when it turns, if it's still Layton or not. I don't go that way very
I'm
often.
just trying to figure out where it goes from being
Right.
a town road to, I think the street names change as it goes around.
Well, Layton, I think, goes straight in.
Yeah,
So if you
so-
look on this little map here, you can see Layton comes,
Yeah.
there's a black line where it comes off
I
Route
did see
100,
that.
and then it goes straight into the back of the back line of the subdivision.
So
and
it just
stops
goes right
there.
down Layton
Yeah.
Street.
And I don't know if that's all public or just the top part.
Leighton turns into Curtis Street Brook.
Oh, it does? Because I see Curtis goes
Curtis.
west.
Very back to that.
He goes
Oh, that makes a loop there? Yeah,
This is Leighton,
Yep.
this is Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Fairview.
Yep. No, Layton just goes straight down and stops.
Leighton appears to go straight down and stops and then turns into Curtis.
And about a third of the way down Layton Street, then Chestnut Street cuts across. It appears. I believe Google Maps. Let's go for existing conditions.
Only classification. Location name and present width of existing public or private street and right of way. We got that at 7 And we were just talking about that. If Layton Street is a public street, we might have to put that. No buildings on the property. Up here or right.
Isn't Layton Street where the Sebastopol Valley, isn't that the street up by the fire?
Right, the next one up from the hospital entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. I think that's like,
Yeah,
they go straight down in, then,
yeah, so the hospital probably, well, they have that building on the left. But I'm trying to picture when you go down straight, there's like Roland Tozier's old place there on the right.
yeah, there's Chandler, then there's, I think, then you go down to Curtis. Curtis is a dead end. I don't know if it still does or not, but.
I think
know they're
so.
doing some work
Yeah.
out there.
So the end of Curtis, where it is now and paved, is the beginning of the Gray subdivision expansion.
The only thing I'd say about the roads is that there's town roads, that these folks and the highway foreman should go out there and meet and make sure everybody's on, get a videotape and that type of thing. And I think that would work, before anything starts. That'd be my recommendation.
We do that in a lot of towns, go out,
Oh, yeah,
to the road
yeah.
commissioner and videotape the whole thing,
Yeah.
drive it, point out anything to document it.
And give a copy, if you can give a copy to the town, and that works.
You think that ought to be a condition? Street.
That's kind of standard practice, I think, sounds like with these folks anyway, and I mean, construction ones, that's what we've always done.
And we've done it before.
Yeah.
A number of times.
Yeah.
Make that a condition.
Just have a video or photographs or whatever, and just know
So
they
the
need
streets
existing
are the
conditions.
original condition.
Yeah.
So where am I? 8.2. Part D, location name, present width of existing public or private road. So I don't know how to word that, right? We've got to put Curtis, I don't know if Curtis is a private road or a public.
I think it's just Layton Street's the only town road, and the others are just private.
Yeah, and then at the end of Chandler, then it's gonna go onto a dirt road.
Right, and I don't think that's between,
Yeah, to me it seems like it's the top part of Layton Street and then that part of Chandler Street goes across from there. And then there's a right of way down there, there's no existing road. So just that kind of top L, Layton and Chandler.
Yep. And Chandler stopped, what's that, with a pickup road.
Yeah.
We can put that as a condition for approval of that Layton be preserved, put back in the original condition.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to word it exactly.
Should be a mutual inspection between the town and developers. Town right of ways.
yeah, just imagine, folks meeting out there and videotaping it, then I think they said in their thing here that they would be willing to use the public roads. The applicant will repair substantial damage, I don't know what substantial damage is, but.
The road is inspected before and after.
Prior to construction.
Yeah, just do a big construction survey of it.
Make sure it maintains its integrity. No water supply.
stormwater drainage is all on the plan. I don't know if anybody has any questions about how the surface water is going to be handled. If not,
Which one did you jump to?
we're on 8.3.
No, you skipped 8.2 F and down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Driveways, oh, yeah. So many pages. Occasion to mention, existing driveways, I don't think that has anything to do with it. You're gonna get a permit from, DEP.
For DOT? Yeah, up under 100.
So we can, get a copy of that plan.
Would you say entrance permit from DOT?
Yes, yes. Just because it is a state road. Then the DEP permit, you're gonna present us with a copy of the DEP permit when you get it.
And that'll be for site location, stormwater, and natural resources protection act.
So I'm gonna write down on that one, part H, the planning board requires documentation, the DEP, additional permit is done. We require information about the permit, but we got a copy. Signs, no signs. Easements and copies of existing covenants were in the fine.
8.2 K or L.
Okay, now I'm at 8. Now, here, I can't see anything that really applies right now. If anybody's got a question about 8.3, they inquired. We've already gone past whether or not it would be visible to residents. Where it's located right now, I don't think anything. I don't have 8.3, so 8.3 part J, proposed general description of proposed use. Do we consider that to be sufficient?
Yes.
And again, a copy of the DOT entrance permit. On part K, I'll put that information, additional information is required. You need a permit copy. The utilization of the site, same thing as 8.3.J. I'm going to check that as okay. Adequacy of the road system, kind of covered that too. We want a financial guarantee in case something goes wrong with the road. I haven't really been on, I've been down Lake Road for the past 30 years.
I think if there's inspection prior to construction, we'll probably discover it.
What Tom said?
I said inspection prior to construction will probably take care of keeping an eye on the road, worst case scenario. We can
So
always
with
look.
that, so the thought process of the board, that, so if that shows evidence of, you have existing conditions, and then after the construction, it shows evidence of failing, it's gonna be a discussion point to go back to these guys and have them fix what's gonna go on, is that kind of, that's the thought process,
Yeah,
I guess?
basically. If that doesn't work, you just block their access road.
Is that,
Well, what do you think, Mark?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
We could,
you guys go on and put up and say, hey, 20 grand, have it sitting out there and have it there, and so you know that there's something there, or that seems to be too much?
20 grand doesn't go very far, does it?
Huh?
20 grand doesn't go very far anymore.
Brent will hardly get out of his chair for
I know.
20 grand.
I did bring that up.
I mean, what's underneath that road? 12 inches of gravel, maybe?
Probably a bunch of rocks.
Yeah. So
That's correct, right?
it's gonna take abuse.
They used to be all field ground.
Well, it's all ledge up there anyways, isn't it?
I don't know. Like a 3 liter, it used to be all field ground. They probably put all the rocks in the field ground under it.
What's the applicant think?
So I think what we've often seen is language in the permit, conditional permit. It states that it must be, video survey, and that it must be returned to its original condition.
And there's never been any escrow for any money typically?
Not for any projects that we've built. And again, in order, right, and if we don't comply, then the permit can be pulled. So,
I'm okay with that. Everybody else is,
Yeah, just,
yeah?
just don't.
Guess the only thing would be-
And
Yeah.
check it again when you're done.
That sounds reasonable.
roads will be inspected before project and returned to original condition as project stand. How's that sound? I'm not putting any new, access to the site, this is already there. So I'm gonna put that as kind of, doesn't really apply here to Lake Street.
No, not down Layton. On Route 100, they're already gonna get their DOT permit on that one.
Yeah. 9.3 Part A is kind of not applicable, covered under other sections.
But you're not considering that access off Route 100 as an access to the building, as an access to the site other than for C&P, right?
not as it's currently designed, that is correct. So as I mentioned earlier though, we are currently working with Gray Realty to see if there's a better route through their subdivision, that would support their construction, which could entail having our temporary construction entrance through Route 100.
So basically, if that happens, they'll have access on Route 100 and very little access through Pisco streets.
Correct.
Do you want them to come back and present what that is to us again, or?
I don't think it's gonna change the project on our end of it very much, Dale. If anything, it would probably ease
That would ease things, wouldn't it?
things from Pittsfield because they're not traveling on any Pittsfield streets, or it'll be all their own home roads.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah, if I say I can't help but look at the map, if there's another option, there very well may be. For the time being, we'll just talk.
So I guess you guys, I guess, Sorry, Jim, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just gonna say, but you'll have to have that identified when you go to DEP anyways, right?
We will, yeah. And we'd have, for the DOT permit too, we'd have to indicate if it's gonna be a CMP stub or if it's gonna be an access road, we'll have to get the appropriate permit from DOT.
Because that road where the power line, your underground line, that's gonna have to be cleared and gravelled to some extent anyways, correct?
It wouldn't have to be gravel, it would have to be cleared and then it's gonna be underground, so we just trench it and hurry it.
Would it,
That change the permitting if you get for the access road through there?
I'm sorry?
Would that change, would that,
For the DEP, it would, because there's a wetland there. I mean, if we can go around that wetland into those gray lots and Gray's okay with that, that'd be a win for everyone.
Right.
But we haven't ironed that out. But yes, we'd have to get natural resource wetland permit. We'll have to get one anyway, just to put in the underground pipe, but adding a road would increase the impact.
but to have your own total private entrance road probably has some benefits on your side.
Yeah, I don't think you'd keep that as a permanent road, would you? Chad,
No,
even if we
no,
went
so
under?
what we're talking about here, whether we come in through Chandler or we come in from 100, those are gonna be temporary, just during construction, just during the high traffic. Once we're done, they're gonna be restored, revegetated, and returned, and then utilize Curtis Street for operations.
Okay.
There are 9.3, starting part B, which says A. Second thing, anything down there bother anybody? 9.3 A is not applicable, B through H. H part 1 and 2, we don't see them as being applicable to this permit.
Well, it's sufficient. I would say it's sufficient under what they're presenting to us right now.
Yeah, this finding of facts is written differently from others that I've had.
And I think that question would be relating to a high traffic or traffic, whereas they're already identified as going to be just construction traffic. Yeah. So I would say that would be sufficient, from my perspective.
Well, let me see. 9.4. Nothing there that bothers me. Anybody's got any questions about that? 9.5, vehicular circulation.
adequate?
Not gonna be a lot of, except during construction, there's not gonna be a lot of vehicles doing anything.
Well, as I said, the turning radius is the WB40, the wheelbase 40 feet, so that whether it's the delivery trucks for the solar components or it's emergency vehicles, it's adequate.
Yeah. Plus, they're not gonna wind up dead ends without having a turnaround.
Right.
I'm gonna
That's
say,
what rearview mirrors are for.
Straight ahead trucking. Going back up.
9.5B is, or A. Then B, let's say information is adequate. The roads are temporary roads, so they don't have to be too harmonious. No parking, but it won't test stormwater management, except for runoff. That'll be covered in your permit. Erosion control. Any problem there?
No.
Water supply of need, disposal of need. Utilities. Do we need a copy of the interconnection agreement for CMP?
No,
I don't think we ever had one from anybody else. Natural features.
You're gonna be mowing around the panels, not, yeah, 'cause you'll have to stop things from going up around them, right?
Right, yeah, twice a year it'll be mowed to
No spraying, no
keep
chemicals.
no herbicide.
I think that might be in your permit anyway. Natural features, 9.13, is that information adequate for everybody?
yes.
Groundwater protection, again, that's covered in the permit. Water quality protection. Part C is 9.13. We've gone over that a number of times here too. No hazardous, special, or radioactive materials, storage of this material. It's not in the shoreline zone. Technical and financial capacity. Going through that too. You want to believe that they're capable. Solid waste disposal has to do with, basically where you're gonna throw the trash.
During construction, yeah.
I think you covered that in this binder too. Is that, good for everybody?
Yep.
Historic and archaeological resources, floodplain management, use of public roads. The town will inspect Layton Street. Just agree that it's gonna be back where it belongs. Project is done. Improvement guarantee, and we need an improvement guarantee. There's gonna be a guarantee to decommission it with the DEPs. So if there's any other reason for an improvement guarantee, we talk about it, otherwise we'll just say it's not required, it's not required.
I have one question. You said you had 5 other locations, and none of them are operational yet? So they're all
Under construction right now.
So do you have any operational anywhere?
Not
As a
in Maine, but
as a company, we do.
Oh, I see, not in Maine though.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have operational projects all across the country.
Okay, now I'll go back to the beginning. Does anyone think we need to walk around the site? Do we want a site inspection? Not me.
Not me.
I don't think so.
We don't need, do we need a public hearing?
Do we have anybody from public here today?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a controversial project, so that's all right.
What'd you do with the other one?
The other one?
When you had the other soul farm? Can we
No,
have
we
a public
didn't,
hearing on
we didn't
that?
have any public hearing, we had, nobody even showed up, I think.
Yeah.
Got one
We've approved 3 of them in the past couple of years.
Isn't there a public hearing portion required by DEP?
There is, and that will be this Thursday.
Yeah, that's a public information meeting that I'll be back up for, and Chad will be back up for too. Sort of an open-
Right at the site?
We're doing it, I'm not sure where it is, we're doing it maybe here. Yeah, the DEP requires before you file a site location application that you have an open house meeting where the public's invited to come in and ask questions and, you know, just give you their concerns and things to help you make a better application before you finally file with DEP.
Did you say that that's next week?
It's this week, I think it's Thursday, right?
Has it been posted?
It has, yeah, it's been mailed out. and-
It's at the library.
At the library, thank you.
Because it's a process, if we decide we need a public hearing, then,
We have to do a different one.
yeah, we gotta go through the whole process, and it's gonna take another month.
You know, is there, I can't see any big holdup, you know. There might be people there curious and asking questions, but I still can't see a big issue.
Yeah, so it's gonna be one anyway, I'm gonna say that. We're gonna vote not to have a public hearing, so.
There you go.
Like I said, I don't see it as a controversial issue. So as far as the application is approved with additional information required between the DOT copy. DOT permit copy, DEP permit copy.
I think we would confirm, you know, pending DEP final approval.
Yeah, I mean, a inspection of Lake Street. Before the project, take care of that. Okay, this is what we're gonna vote on. We're gonna approve the project with additional information required, DEP permit, the DOT permit, and an inspection of Lake Street prior to construction. Anybody else got any more conditions?
I'm going to make a suggestion on the wording. Instead of additional information, if you say it's condition of approval, additional information makes it sound like you're not really approving until you get additional information.
Yeah.
If you approve it, but there's a condition of approval that says this isn't valid until these things happen.
In the past, we've done it, we've approved it, pending DEP and DOT final approval.
Yeah, as conditions.
That's conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the way it's worded on this paper this way, right?
Okay. Because that makes me think, oh, wait a minute, so it's not really approved if you want more information, but it's approved, but you gotta have these conditions before you can start.
I'll cross out additional, I'll put in pending. They'll get the heading. Now, everybody knows what we're voting on. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal tonight.
A second?
Second, no.
Second. And it's pending, DOT permit copy, DEP permit copy, and inspection of Lake Street prior to construction. All in favor, Luann said aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vote. Unanimous. I'll give this to Bob tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
Got any comments on Whitman?
Oh, I already brought up all the things that I considered.
Does anybody else need to sign that?
I have to, chair has to sign this thing. I think we gotta, is there
Usually an approval block on the plans.
yeah, do we have an approval block on the plan?
Right, yeah, the plans have an approval block on them.
It should be, we don't sign all of them.
Yeah, just pick one and,
There is one on there though, isn't there?
Yeah, we got about 15 different drawings.
Are we signing that tonight, Royce,
Or we could, well, I'll let Bob go through the thing, and then we might have to come in to the town office to sign it. Because once everything goes through the thing, we'll go back to town to sign it.
I know. I'll sign.
But I don't, you know, it might be, you don't have to come to the town office. If you do it tonight, you don't have to.
I never make it back in.
Yeah. Let's do it right now, then we don't have to worry about coming back.
Whose copy, which copy?
I don't know which copy. I've got a C1 plan. I think that may,
yes, that's the first page that has the signature block, that's C1.
Yeah, place up near the top of the sign date.
Let me see if C2 gives me a bigger. I don't think C2 doesn't really cover the whole project.
You usually need two signed copies. You'll need one for, at least one for the town and one for the applicant.
But what I'm thinking is, if you look at the pictures, they run up, you've got,
Yeah,
you've got the construction road, which is part of the thing. I don't know if we need to sign that one or.
I just signed the main, whatever the first one is, and then it applies to all the plans, the whole one set.
C1 will place. So you want two of them or something?
Yeah, you usually need at least two, because the town's gonna need one and the applicant's gonna need,
I'll put my copy on tape too then.
Yeah, I'll be on. Good man.
I don't write checks like you.
That's good though, isn't it? That's going out, and then coming in.
Bob?
Yeah, my friend. Good to see you.
Tomorrow, yeah, I got.
Simone, good to see you.
I'm right here.
Hi, Brett. Good to see you.
Oh, see you, Carter.
Bye-bye.
You got more projects in the works?
We do.
Oh.
Hey, what's that time away? I need that time.
And tomorrow, this is just our finding of fact document.
Oh, great.
Shows that we covered it in their meeting and I signed it tomorrow.
Excellent, I'll get a copy from Bob.
And then, be in the running.
Thank you, Roy.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And Bob, I just gotta say, I got the exact same mirror at my house, the one that's right behind you.
I was a year ago, the price of building on like half a million in the last 3 months. Year and a half to get, still going.
Stevie.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we all adjourned?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Second?
We need to adjourn.
Yeah.
All in favor of being adjourned?
Aye.
I think we got people running.
Right, I told him it's not people. That week of the fourth.
If you need a motion, you can use me.
I put that one off.
I don't think we need a motion.
No.
But we can discuss it.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, guys.
Good, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, but it's been
Yeah, I
a
got
pretty good year so far.
I got five more stuff going on, I should have.
Of course you do.
Roy, I can take one of these sign plans.
More to come.
Yeah.
We had round two wet harvest on beyond now.
Oh, yeah.
And my harvest, hydro. Really, you push it ahead and she goes. And it only up a half speed, so that's 40-year-old machine. So I went and bought a
your son would be at MMA or he is?
30-year-old machine last Thursday, I bought two, all kinds of stuff. You know, the newer ones would come at 8.3, something like that.
Still the top contender.
And been sitting for 3 or 4 years, 5 or 6 years. And so we drove it home Friday, said, stuck in low range, stuck in the whole drive, so it only went 6.5 miles an hour.
Same picture you threw out at me
You know,
on that phone call.
was gonna haul the trailer, couldn't do it Sunday.
No way.
You drive it?
No, I had the other go.
Yeah, I did. Geez, how long did that take?
But I took 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
From down
Yeah.
the railroad to Sydney.
Good man.
I didn't know there was more.
Trailer oil, from one end to the other.
Yes, I
Thank you.
just
Seal. And so I got motor home Sunday.
You're gonna be a regular.
I decided to sleep in. He didn't want to. I got the patch on.
Yes.
The only one you put these bars, side by side, you
In a few minutes.
3 trucks in different stages of being prepped for volume. One of them,
in April.
a big side shooter maneuver was on it. Drive it. Brand new side shooter prep on Thursday. And that truck, that's how you prep for my own system.
Is it just that or the other?
Well, it's
Regimental.
trucks, I own technically today in Waterloo. And they're gonna be his trucks, but, you know, once they're ready to go. One truck in the shop. Frames are apart, I got frame pieces made up to add to the frame.
So you make it longer than you do?
Well, that one I'll make it longer, even though the tandem isn't going beyond where the original frame was. And that one had a single axle, and I'm putting a set of tandems under it. So the tandems about a dozen, I'm gonna rebuild, you know, all the wheel ends, because they had spike wheels, I'm going to hub pilots on it, and you just. And then, I don't know if you've been by my house. but,
No, I haven't done that way lately.
You know, that find me a rainstorm. Got much water, we got a floor rain,
Yeah.
outside, very
Yeah.
rain. So the rain pipe going out to the road, something plugged.
It's gonna go anywhere, I don't.
And I just didn't take, wasn't thinking next month or went down to get something out of the freezer. He said, there's water down here. And it was coming right back through the.
You think something got off the pipe or something up?
I think we're still on camera.
It happened once before, 10, 15 years ago, and we dug it up, and, you know, it's flexible.
So, it's got a 20 of white stuff, yeah.
And their roots,
They got one
got
marine
between,
biology.
and they filled that pipe right up to about 20-foot section with little hair roots. I dug it all up, and there was a little bit there, but not enough. About 10 feet off the foundation. Small digging, all the water coming out and everything else. There was a boulder on there, saying, probably that big.
Cameras are still on.
I'm super happy. I think it's a great program.
So I was digging that boulder out, I don't know if you get back, you push back in there with a backfill that slowly.
Thank you, Corey.
Working its way.
I thought I'd tell you right now, like, you were rocking on top of the outlet.